So to start off my evaluation, I have gone ahead and received my feedback from my tutor. In this feedback, there are comments on different types of things that could be done to improve my grade. And I will be following them because I want to make sure that my grade is at least a pass or a merit. If I keep it at a merit, then that is great for my university course, but a distinction is more of a thing that I can do if I want to really get a high grade. But anyway, following through with all this, I will follow through with each comment that has been made, and I'll move on from there. Going next, we have my Unity project. Now, what I've done here is I have been working on the police officer this time. Now, what you're going to see is not actually a finished version of it. This police officer was harder to do than I thought because what I wanted to do was have it so that this police officer would have a random time of when he turns around. If I go ahead and access the police officer's script just now, and if I enable Visual Studio on my OBS, Visual Studio, there we go. So if we see here right now, um, in here is the police officer switch direction. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of things that are removed and been tinkered around with because I'm really trying to see what I can do here. Before was this where it would just be after like every 3 seconds or so, it would go ahead and change the Euler angles uh, of the sprite and what. There was a problem with that though, was that the fact the animation doesn't have him. Well, the animation has him turning around already, meaning I didn't actually need it so that it changes his transformation. All I actually really needed was to have his collisions change. That is why in the actual project itself, you can see by the police officer, he has two different variables here, left and right, and these are each different collision to showcase different parts. And these will be used to, of course, detect the player in different angles. There are a few things that can be changed, of course, by changing that to that instead. But now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click play and show you. It won't work because there are a few issues that I'm trying to figure out. But I'm just going to be quiet while I showcase this. I'm going to unmaximize this because you need to be able to see this stuff. So in my animator, let's just go in here as it is trying to play. So with the police officer, there's a major problem that his animations wouldn't play and his collisions would keep flickering. Now, I am not exactly sure what's causing this issue. And I have a feeling that what could be the biggest problem would be that stuff like this random timer stuff isn't really working. If I went onto the game again and went on debug this time, you can see that the random timer is kind of working, where it does do random time between 3 and 6 seconds. The only problem is that it's not exactly waiting for that duration. It's kind of every single so often, it will just keep spamming the random timer now. And that's why you can see every time that changes, this still happens. So I have a sneaking suspicion that what I'd have to actually do is inside of these sections, these void drink, I might have to go ahead and just move these into their own type of coroutines, and then have them work that way instead of being like this, where they separately do the part, then coroutine, and then do the next part. Um, though there also could be problems like, like the if could be causing these problems. I'm not too sure exactly. It's kind of odd to think about how this works. And if I go ahead and I don't figure out the solution to this problem, I might go ahead and just return to this script where the player every 3 seconds would do this. But of course, that would mean I'd have to do and drink one instead of transform, and then of course wait until it does this stuff. That's what I might have to do in the end of this. Anyway, that should be it for that. And other than that, there isn't really else much to note down for my project itself. I've just really been working on that stuff for now, trying to see what else I could do. There's surprisingly though, searching around on the internet for these types of answers or a random timer in general, it's surprisingly difficult to get a random timer action to do something. Because I cannot seem to find any tutorials on the internet for it. So what I may have to do is, once again, change it back to just being the normal if 3 seconds if I cannot figure out myself. But yeah, and after that, what will be next for my project itself is once the police officer has his animation parts done correctly, like if I went on here, for example, and click on the police officer, you can see here the animation. Drinks off, and then drink down when he drinks down. And it goes towards the spin, where he does this. When he's facing this way, he will go ahead and drink on the left side. And then once he does that, he drinks down, of course, on the left side. And then he'll repeat once again. Of course, stuff like in the drinking of the L, you can see that he already puts his cup down, which what I might do is just remove those final frames of him doing that. So if I go here, remove these like 5 frames here. So now he should be stuck to just doing that. And then when he goes down, he'll do this. So that's what may be my plan. And oh yeah, other than that, the other things I'll have to do after the police officer is get the player animations to work. Which, if it does not work, then my theory that the animations well, I had a theory with the prototype that with the animations, it may be screwing up some of my scripts. So I have a feeling that if I do this script for the animations on the player, and if the problem still happens, then my theory kind of confirms it. Because as it is right now, my jump mechanic works flawlessly with its whole holding down and all that. Because before in the prototype, if you held down and then release, on some occasions it wouldn't accurately do the right jump that it was supposed to do, which is odd. So I have a feeling that the animations may be the cause of that, because there isn't really much different used in the script that I have for my player than it is with the old prototype. There are a few minor things that could be the reason, but I'm not too sure exactly. But the next time I do my evaluation on my project, you'll be able to know then, because I'll already have it be tested and all that. Anyway, that is all for this evaluation. And it isn't really much on my site work because I just received my feedback from my tutor, so I'll be working on that stuff on Wednesday. Anyway, that'll be all for today's evaluation, and I will update you next.